Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Seriously Fit Show. As you know, this is a health and wellness show that not only do we share different modalities of healing ourselves in many ways of mind, body, and spirit. Today I bring a special guest to this show, and I'd like to share this and introduce you to Leah Wentworth, and she's a fellow health coach with an extraordinary pursuit of healing people in a certain way that I think you women especially out there need to hear her message, and for you men as well, because I always look at it this way, a happy wife is a happy life. So you might want to listen into a little of this. But anyway, welcome, Leah, to the Seriously Fit Show. I'm your host. And so I have a question. So as a fellow health coach, how did you get into this wellness field? Because we have a lot of commonalities. We both like organic farming, and you've raised in that world. And so we share a lot of healthy things. And so tell me a little bit about your business, the Inner Wisdom.
Yeah, sure. Great. Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. So I work mainly with women, and Inner Wisdom is what I named my business because I feel like that is really what I want people to get in touch with, is their own passion and their own desire for living their life like they want to and following their dreams and really having, something to wake up to and wake up for, and a mission, And so many of us get stuck in this, just going through the motions of life and waking up and going to a job we don't necessarily really care for, but feel like we have to because we got to pay the bills. And I feel like we get really stuck in limiting beliefs as far as like thinking we can't do what we really want to do, we wouldn't be able to make money at it, or we don't have enough skills, and we can't go back to school now. And so I really like to help people open up their possibilities. Right. And I kind of go at that in a unique way, dealing with some of the energetic and emotional aspects of your belief system, really. And so that's kind of, that's what I really like to do, is help people kind of access that emotional part of what's holding them back so they can shine.
Well, that's pretty awesome, because a lot of people are stuck in a rut. They go through the things because they have a family, they've raised a family, or they're in a certain place now that they weren't. Their family has grown and gone, and then now they've lost that purpose of, what do I do now? I'm not connected socially to these other groups because I was so busy doing my thing, working, whatever. They're kind of lost. And the first day I met you, I saw this sparkly woman that said, wow, she's got some pizzazz, and we've connected. And I think the audience really needs to hear this message, how health coaches are going to be this new trend of where we're visioning, because our medical people out there, that again, there's a need for it. But I think these other modalities that are out there to teach people to heal themselves in ways that when we talk mind, body, and spirit, first and foremost, is putting in good food to build the brain cells, all the nourishing your body, and then that primary food that we all lack to some imbalances of having a career that we love, a relationship that's meaningful, in having exercise in some format to get your body to take in the great oxygen. We all know that as health coaches, but when a person that's kind of stuck in this place, and really I find your business model is Inner Wisdom is like, wow, we all have it. Right. And trying to dig it out sometimes is quite difficult. Right. Just because of your environment that you're in, you feel endlessly hopeless in this place that you may be sitting in front of TV watching this show today, saying, wow, I'm stuck. And you know what? If we can inspire just one or two people out there to say, hey, listen, you can make a difference. Need that little push to get out there, right, to say, hey, listen, we have a person you can contact and say, listen, Leah here has been doing this coaching, and I think she's just the right lady I need to get connected with, or at least have a conversation, right, to get you started. So I know you've had some challenges in your life, and you've amazed me. I know you've had 20 years as you were into environmental sciences, which is okay. That's a change of piece, but I can see how some of that is connected to your organic farming and all the things that you do, promoting healthy concepts to the clients you work with. So I think that's where we kind of on the same page with that, because I like to take the great foods and being able to show people how to cook it and eat it. And I think we have a lot of commonalities there. So, but tell us a little more about so if someone is stuck in this world, some of the concepts that you might perhaps be able to help them with.
Yeah, sure. So I really like to take a look at, just helping people look at a different perspective, give them a different way of looking at something, because we're so often get stuck in this mindset of like, well, work means this. Well, what if work could mean something different, And, we're often stuck in the money piece, like we have to make money at what we do for work. And so our passions don't always line up with what we think we can make money at. And so a lot of my coaching is just like, well, what else can you think about? What else, here's another question of like, one of my favorite questions actually is, if money wasn't a thing and you didn't have to make money at what you did for work, what would you do? And that really helps them get in touch with, oh, well, if I didn't have to make money, I'd really love to be a chef, like I'd like to teach young kids how to cook or something, so it just gives them that opportunity to kind of like think differently, because we're so thinking about the money all the time that we
lose focus.
We lose focus and we can't really get in touch with what we really want. And so then it's like, okay, well, I'm just picking career for one thing to focus on at the moment, but this could be about relationships or about exercise or whatever, just trying to help them think outside of the box, that they have put their goggles on and they're only seeing this certain thing. Exercise means going to the gym. Well,
and some people have a real stigma.
And some people love that, and some people are like, I don't ever want to go to the gym, so I can't exercise. And so we make these associations in our brains with things that we can't do, and they're kind of excuses, really, for like getting out of our comfort zone, which is doing the same thing, because we're habitual creatures and we like to wake up and do the same thing every day. It helps keep our brain calm and relaxed, and even if it sucks,
Oh, absolutely.
There's a certain part of us that wants to keep doing it.
There's a big fear of doing something different or getting out in public. I know people are, the fear of going out now, traveling even, all the craziness in our world and society today is really, we've almost kind of confined ourselves to living in our own little world, and like, no, I don't want to get involved, I don't want to be part of that, or whatever. So getting over that fear is very difficult for some people that have been locked themselves in. They're almost putting themselves in the imprisonment. And the thing is, and it doesn't have to be there. I mean, spring is coming about. This is the time that all us farmers want to get out there and relish this, but one snowstorm after another really kind of put a squash on that thing, but we relish that environment to be able to do those kind of things. And I think this is a chance, an opportunity for people can connect with this show here today, is the fact, say, listen, hey, it's a new year, I'm in this place today, but what hope do I have to make small steps to be in a whole different place of something that I really wanted to do from all my life? It's on your bucket list, but you've never been inspired to do that. And I think that, to me alone, it says, hey, listen, there's never too late. I said it to myself many times. It says you can teach old dogs new tricks.
You can.
And if you can take this guy that is a whole different person he was several years ago, and morph him into this new person that's energetic. I feel younger than I've ever felt. I'm eating the foods that I think we need to eat in our body, and that's difficult in our world because we're inundated. If you're watching TV, to eat this, take these pills, take these drugs, and you really don't need to. Some of us health coaches know that there are other things you can do to help yourself. And
I think that's what finally got me into the health coaching field is, with my own kids growing up and going through the regular medical system, I really just firsthand started to realize just how much it wasn't working, and I wanted support for me to do something different, and to learn what other modalities and things I could do for my kids when they were sick and help them refocus and regain their health and all. So, and I just over and over again was, give them antibiotics or give them this drug or give them that, and not having, I really sought out what I thought were good doctors too,
Right. I think we've been blinded with that, is that there's really no venue to say, is there any alternative treatments
Right.
they have? Thank God for the internet now. You can go on and shop around and see things that you probably wouldn't. At least bring mind to the question, okay, should I be eating this thing? Should I be drinking this? And there's a plethora of knowledge of information out there, and it's almost mind-boggling to me when I finally explored that nutrition was part of my issue, what should I be eating? And you and I both know, having gone to school for nutrition and health, that everybody is different. Everybody is bio-individual, that what one man's food is maybe another man's poison. So with that, we realize that some things are not going to be compatible to certain people.
Right.
So, but finding that out is really the key. And I think where health coaches can really help out from a healthy perspective, and from your perspective in finding inner purpose and soul, which is pretty neat. Now, you also, moving on, you're Reiki trained, and you've done something that I've read and don't know a lot about, is tapping. And then that's a whole other area that I'm totally unfamiliar with, that really haven't, I've heard about it, read about it, kind of speculative. I was like, okay, that's out there a little farther than the most general public will probably want to know, but it's no different than the power of healing through prayer. And a lot of people say on that, or meditation, deeping. Some people say, it's kind of not for me, but again, we're all different, and healing can be done in many different ways. And but having the resources to meeting folks like you that have something different to offer those folks out there, and hopefully inspire them to contact you and say, hey, listen, I got a young lady here who will go out there and find your purpose and your mission. And everybody has something to give in this environment, be it a neighbor, a friend, or an associate that may be hurting inside and really don't know, and suffering. And I think you can bring out that energy that's been trapped for so long.
There's possibilities.
There's possibilities, right?
There are possibilities.
Right. To think I was a shy, fat, quiet kid the majority of my life, and to be here, to be able to share this message of health and wellness, and being able to take a personal control of the future destiny. And it's remarkable that the people that I've come across, and I'd like to use this forum as a continuum to get other people like yourself on the show that say, hey, listen, there are hope for you folks out there that really need that inner wisdom to say, hey, I have it, it's locked in, but somebody that can release that energy and say, hey, I can do something for myself. So.
Yeah. And I love that you just said release that energy, just because that literally is, we are energy, and there's an energy field flowing around our body, and the feeling of stuckness, there actually is stuck energy in your body, And so getting that to move with Reiki or other energy modalities, or tapping. And tapping happens to be one of my favorites that I use on myself. And what I really love about tapping is that once you learn it, you can use it on your own. You don't have to go to an appointment or wait till, next week to see somebody or whatever. You can use it in the moment now on yourself. And that's what's so cool about it.
Well, for our audience, can you explain a little more about tapping? Because right now, this is the time of year that when people say, hey, I'm tapping, you know what the first thing that comes to mind is that
They're tapping their trees,
my
right?
sugar shack buddies are out there tapping their trees for maple syrup. And if you're from Biddeford, we've been accused, us Frenchmen here,
Yeah.
pardon that, but you got to love a Frenchman. We are sap buckets on the telephone pole, so we sometimes get confused. But that's a joke, my friends.
It's funny, I used my, as my email, tap your sap is part of my little like
Oh, that is cool.
slogan, because it is like tapping the sap of a tree. You are actually, that's the energy system that's like carrying all these messages and everything to the tree. It's also our messages that are flowing around our bodies, and it's really what sustains us. And so being able to tap into that and say, oh, what's out of balance? What's needed? What do I have to put in, you know, or move around? It's kind of, that's the message with it, you know, is tap into your sap, learn to listen to your cues again, you know, what's out of balance for yourself. And, you know, animals have that instinct. What should they eat today? What foods, what, you know, they go around and they know what to eat and what not to eat based on what they need, you know? And we actually used to have that too. We're animals, you know, and we don't think of it like that.
Oh, yeah.
But we haven't been trained to know that our body knows what it needs. We've been trained to go to the doctor and have them tell us what we need, you know?
Yeah.
And so part of that is just getting into that, like, it's really important that you resonate with who you're speaking with and your doctor. Like, if you trust them and you know and you have the same beliefs, it's gonna be helpful to you. But if you're resisting and you don't believe in what they're saying, and you're not gonna get better, you're not gonna find the solution. So it's really about knowing that, okay, I've found somebody that resonates with me, that is giving me information that is meaningful to me, and it makes sense, and then I can connect to it, and I can go do it, rather than you know,
So now you're
take
taking
this every day, take this drug every day, but feeling like I shouldn't be doing this. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be on this pill. But then you just keep doing it. So it's really, you know, finding that way to really connect with yourself.
And I think finding the right practitioner that's on the same page is difficult in today's world. I mean, again, we're driven by insurance companies that are making money, and unfortunately, no, they can't be prescribed. We can't buy that pill, or you can only see these doctors. So you're limited, especially if you're a low-income person or having struggles to deal with that. It makes it quite difficult. And I think this is where I think myself is taking a personal responsibility for your own wellness, and it can start as soon as today is by saying, listen, the number one message, and I've said this in previous shows, is remove that soda from you. I tell you, it's laden with sugar and chemicals, and we all know how bad that is, and I'm not going to beat that dead horse again. But again, that's the one step. I think people putting in good, clean water in their diet over a soda is the first step to your healing yourself. So, but no, tell us a little more about the tapping. Can we do an example here today, so that, because I'm not sure what they expect. I mean, we went down the maple syrup tapping thing.
You don't have to get nervous. It's really simple. And it's essentially, it is acupuncture for your emotions. And emotions literally are energy in motion. And when the energy gets stuck, we have negative emotions start to come up. And it can work vice versa. So we have a negative experience, it can actually get stuck, you know, stop the energy flow. So either way, it's about dealing with those negative emotions, because that means something is not flowing, something's not working in your life, something's not working in your body.
Pent up this energy, and then you.
And so tapping, you talk about the negative thing that is happening, the stress or the anxiety or the bad relationship or the boss that you can't stand at work or whatever it is. You talk about it while you're actually tapping, and you just use your fingertips and you tap on these meridian points in your body. So you're literally resetting your energy system as you're talking about the negative. So it kind of does two things. It reprograms the energy, but it's also reprogramming your brain that even though you have this problem, you're okay.
Right. So you're releasing this.
So you're releasing the tension and the stuckness about it.
So get the average person to talk about tapping and stuff. You know what? It just came to me right now, and I tell people it's kind of funny. Bob, why do you use the old wood chopping technique? I'd go out, I'd be frustrated over something, and I would go out to the wood pile and split 4 or 5 pieces of wood.
Yeah.
And I come back, okay, I got it out of my system.
It's very much like that.
So
You're physically moving. I
taking-
don't want this in my body. I'm moving it out of me.
I'm moving it to something else. I
Yeah.
want to reflect that.
You know?
That's pretty simple.
And some people, do it naturally through, we can release stuff in many different ways. So this is just one modality that you can release the stuck energy from your body. But I find it really helpful when you're dealing with kind of those limiting beliefs as far as like, I don't think I could do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not successful enough. Or, you're dealing with those feelings. You can say this. It gives voice to those emotions and helps them move. And it helps your brain start thinking, like you can all of a sudden start being like, oh, that could be different.
Right.
It gives you opportunity to say, there's possibility here for me not to believe that anymore. Right.
I think I can. I think I can.
I think I can. Yeah.
So it gives you some motivation, gives you some hope. It says, hey, listen, it's not all gloom and doom. It's the end of the world. We all have this ability to get stuck in a rut. And
Right.
I think some of that is, it's in our head.
A lot of it's in our head.
But if you're sitting home alone and you don't have that strong relationship or connection with society on so many different levels, it's pretty difficult for that person to get that peace and say, hey, I want to find that hope. But I think with a health coach similar to yourself, reaching out to you can at least be that spark
Right.
to get someone out of that negative cycle.
I really believe we all need coaches. Like I just finally, after a couple of years trying to get my business going, was like, I need a business coach. Like that's just the reality is like I am too stuck in my own ways of doing things to like,
Right.
I need support to keep me going, and help me figure out new ways of looking at things and set my goals and reach them. And, I need a coach. So I got one, so that's like, I really feel like to some degree for a while, like going to counseling was like this stigma, like something's wrong with you. But I was like, I don't think anything's wrong with you. I think you're a very wise, intelligent person to go get help,
We might be cutting in on somebody's turf here. There's a psychiatrist out there and say, hey, listen, how do you feel about that? So we may be cutting, as health coaches, finding out and having health coach other people. I found that sometimes it's not even the food that's the issue.
Right.
You hit it earlier about it's the career, the job you're stuck in, it's the relationship you may be stuck in.
Right. The lack of
there's
movement.
the lack of spark in your life.
Right.
You're doing this thing only because you become very discontent and you're leashing that negativism out there to the world. So you come on as a person that may just be that nobody wants to be around you and you can't understand it, that you come in the room and you suck the life out of that room. And I've met some people like that before, and then there are others that come in the room and all of a sudden they spark this immense energy. And when I met you for the first time, I had that spark of energy that, wow, I need to meet this lady and have her on the show because she is such an energetic, happy person. And she's in a really great place. And the people that I like to surround myself with are those happy people. And I'm welcoming you to my world, and you, the audience out there, you got to meet this lady. She's pretty awesome. So, but if to summarize what we were talking about today, I know there's a lot there. I know I would like to know a little more of the tapping thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make another episode and actually do some
more.
Some trial thing and do something there, because I believe there are others out there that are touched this, but you're the first that I've heard that really does this type of healing of using this knowledge. I want to learn more, and I think my audience would like to hear a little more. And if you want to reach Leah, hopefully your contact information is up there for the audience. So any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience as we wrap up the show here today?
Yeah, I think it's really that there is always hope. There's always a way out of whatever you're stuck in. And reaching out and getting help is, an awesome step to take.
Great.
And I offer a free, consultation so that people can meet with me one-on-one before they start paying me. And, just to get to know me a little better. I mean, you get to know a sense of me on this show here, but if you want to know more specifics about what I do or whatnot, that's always
Now, you
a
have other
possibility.
programs. I understand you've got
I
programs that
do.
you put together for basically women to get them connected, because
Yeah.
they're not alone in this, and some group therapy
Yeah,
type
so I
thing.
do a women's wellness circle, and that's such an awesome way to get started in the whole coaching and starting to look at your life and think outside of the box. And it's really amazing when you come together with a group of people. Women in particular, I think when you have a men's group, it's a similar feeling of just camaraderie and just that connected of like you kind of understand each other, and you realize all of a sudden,
You're not
like, I'm not alone.
Right.
Everyone's struggling with something,
Right.
and everyone has challenges, and trying to change those patterns that we have as humans is not easy work.
Correct.
And so we often go through these cycles where we get energized and we try to make a change, and then a few weeks later we find ourselves right back in the same pattern, and we feel upset with ourselves that we're back there and we're still stuck. But we do this year after year after year after year. And so that's why getting help is so important, because if you do fall back, someone's there to say, hey, let's jumpstart it right now. Let's not wait for 2 more months or 3 years or whatever until we try again. Let's try again today. Let's try again tomorrow.
And this can be
let's keep going with it,
And this could be almost any age group too. I mean, it's not just young women or middle-aged women, even the older generation who are more complacent and lost their sense of purpose. I really think you can help them out in certain ways.
Any age,
And here, being in Biddeford, we're very open culture here. We got a lot of great things happening in Biddeford. There's the 50s club. The community centers offers a variety of programs to get people out of their things. But before you can do anything, you need to identify what you got going. And I think having you here today, I hope to inspire folks to get on board. To hopefully you can help many, many people find their real sense of purpose and wellness. And together we'll make a happy, healthy community here, doing some great things with the people that have locked in their inner wisdom that they can share with the rest of the world. We all have something to offer, and thank you, Leah, for being on my show. And we're going to make everybody in this community seriously fit in many ways, both health, mind, body, and soul. So yeah, we're going to do it together. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, folks, this is the end of the show, and I really want to thank you for watching here today. Leah Wentworth's a special guest, and I hope that you reach out to her. And she can inspire you to do some great things. Again, my name is Robert Sear. I'm with Seriously Fit, your host and producer of the Seriously Fit Show. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.